सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। You people think I am bold. See how technical I am. I am keeping these and taking the class. You people think I am an old fellow. Narayana. Hari Om sir. Narayana. Satish. Narayana. Great. So, who are the new people I want to see? Because for them only I said, today I will be dictating. Because they said they find it difficult. Who are the new people here? Anybody new?
Uncle Lata is here. Lata is here. Then Janaki Ram Reddy soltu ortharanga irukanga.
He's my relation.
Yes.
Avarkitta jagartha irukonu. He's an advocate.
Krishna.
Okay, I shall start. So the new people, listen carefully, take down, and you have problem. Just today itself you get clarified. Because this is a very, 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 very important thing. The Upanishad class is not like you are going to management class or CA class or any other class. You learn something, then get a job or apply it, something may happen. What will happen? Your peace will go. Right? So this is what, with reference to all other knowledges, this knowledge is not to be taken casually. If you have full faith on God, on Guru who is God, if you have full faith on Guru who is God, you will, during the class, get that intuitive feeling and understanding. And after that, you will never be the same. You will have problems. You may be worried. You may have problems, you may have worried, but at the back of it all, you know you are not this body, mind, intellect. There is God in you who never leaves you. You are not alone. And that strength, that knowledge you gain, and after that, You glide into a different dimension. Therefore, this class has to be listened in that attitude. It's not that I'm going to Isavasya Upanishad, I get some more information, take down notes, and then tell people I have attended Isa, I have attended Mandukya, I have attended Mundaka, right? Nothing will happen. You have to be attentive, full faith, complete surrender to Gurudev. Those who have less, because of their coming new and not having enough contact with Gurudev. What do you mean enough contact with Gurudev? Most of them don't have. They are not met. No, he is a living presence. If you are ready, you will have contact with him. If you are ready, you will have contact with him. It has nothing to do with the body. He himself has said it, his teacher also has said it, we left the bodies long back. Even while they were living. Even while they were living, they left the bodies long back. The bodies were hanging on them. So they are very much there right now. He is talking through me. He brought you to this platform. He is coordinating all our movement. Develop love for him. Develop faith on him. Try to feel his presence. Your life is fulfilled. Have any number of problems, doesn't matter. If you feel him, your life is fulfilled. Right? So why I am telling all this, the class is serious. Do not think that you are attending one more class. Upanishad class is not that. Upanishad class gives you direct experience. What doesn't give you, why it doesn't give you is your attunement to Guru. I am not your Guru. I am only a mic. The Guru is talking. The Guru is all pervading. Right? So, some people said they find difficult. So I am going to now tell them, if they want, take down sentence by sentence. That will be only 3 minutes. After that, I will explain. God being infinite, God being infinite, there cannot be anything other than him. That is the meaning of infinite. Infinite means what? That which is not finite. This infinite, under different connotations, has a different meaning. Scientists' infinity is a large number. It is not a real infinite according to Vedas, Vedantis. Vedantin's infinity is that which has no beginning, no end, no middle. That alone is there. That alone is there. So that is God. Because the world we see is his creation. He was before the world. Space, time, all belong to the world. Space, time, all created by God. Bhagavatam says beautifully, Antah Purusha Rupena, Bahi Kala Rupena. Inside is the Purusha, outside is the time, because everything is changing, time and space. Einstein said it, our Bhagavatam said long back. Whole world is nothing but play of time and space. So that is what is said. Bahi Kala Rupena, Antaha Purusha Rupena. That is God. So there is nowhere he is not there. He alone is there. How can anything come out of him? Because there should be space other than the Lord for something to come out. If he is there everywhere, nothing really comes out of him. It is only an appearance. How is that possible? You are dreaming. mountains, oceans, friends, enemies, have they all really come in your dream? Are you not experiencing without really being there? Rute artha yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta atmani Bhagavatam. Without any substance, that which is seen, but really not there in the self, that is called Maya, Jagat, etc. Simple thing to remember is your dream world. Your dream world has no existence apart from you, but it appears to be different from you. It appears to be substantial in you. As long as there is dream, 1 minute happy, another minute challenge. This is natural even in dream. So a man is fed up with this blow hot, blow cold life, wants to end. How does he end? Wake up. How do you end your life's struggles? 1 minute joy, 1 minute sorrow. Wake up to that dimension. Wake up to that dimension. How do I see that dimension? That alone is there when we said that alone is there. Where is the question of seeing it going? You withdraw from all your perceptions and see that which is the essence of all perceptions. The essence of all perceptions is existence and consciousness. While you sleep, how do you dream? Can dream sustain by itself without anything? You, the waker, hello, new ones, are you following me? Yeah. You, the waker, who is existence, who is consciousness, is sleeping. Before you, the forms parade, and this consciousness reflects in those forms. The forms gets animated, and they think they are different from the waker who is sleeping. And thereafter, they develop their own world. Insecurities, joys and sorrows, suffer. Similarly, right now, we, the essential existence and consciousness, before us, this world of forms is parading in waking. Withdraw from all the forms. Turn the mind towards its origin, the consciousness. Withdraw your mind from all perceptions through the five senses and the mind and intellect. Turn the mind towards the self. Then the mind will discover it is nothing but a consciousness. Consciousness plus an object is mind. Mind minus object is consciousness. How do you say mind minus object? How do you take away the object? Turn the attention from external object to the consciousness as the object. Mind takes the form of the object. Now, take away the mind from the external object, turn its attention to consciousness. Consciousness becomes the object of the mind. Since mind takes the form of the object, mind becomes the consciousness. Mind becomes the consciousness. Okay, it's very simple. As you are listening, you can feel it. As you are listening, you can feel it. So, the consciousness that is as existence is alone the truth, like in the dream. Rest are forms, same thing in waking. Existence and consciousness alone are truth. All others are perceptions of the mind. I told you that this alone is logical because there cannot be anything other than infinite. And I told you also Bhagavatam, which says inside as Purusha, outside as time. Now, what does your science say? Your science says mind is the matrix of matter. The whole matter is nothing but the mind, thoughts. The world that you see is nothing but thoughts. Therefore, what is the world? Existence consciousness associated with thoughts, like in the dream, feels the world as though concrete. Rute artham, without a substance, it experiences. I'll stop for 1 minute for you to think, because I don't want to rush, because this is so important for all of you to discover the God in you. I don't want to rush. If you have not understood, please ask me. 1 minute, I will stop. Okay, so this consciousness, which is our existence, or existence, which is consciousness, life, alone is there. Right? That's what we said. Infinite alone is there. And when it is there, there cannot be anything other than the infinite. So all the world that you see are only as real as the dream world. Now, what do you do to end the dream problems? Get up, see the waker to be the essence of all the dream world. So what do you mean? Cover all the dream characters by the waker. This is called Isha Vasya Medagam Sarvam. See God alone in everything. See God alone in everything. How can I see God in a chair? It exists. Chair exists. Existence is God. Wall exists. Existence is God. Pain exists. Existence, consciousness is pain. What is other than God? I'm humiliated. You experience the humiliation because of the presence of the existence and consciousness. You are experiencing that. There's nothing in the world other than God, who is existence, consciousness, appearing to be different by the mischief of the mind, hence insecurity, hence sorrows. Withdraw from the mind, you feel the bliss like in sleep, total bliss like in sleep. How do I withdraw? Here again, you have a lot of wrong notions. Control the mind, stun the mind, stop the mind. Nothing you have to do. You just see the mind as mind and say that is mind. I never mind. That's all. You don't have to worry about its restlessness. You say my mind is restless. My mind is agitated. My mind is angry. My mind is jealous. Finished. You have disowned the mind. That is all you have to do. When you do that, you are very clear. You are different from the mind. And see who is this different from the mind who says that is my mind. That alone is real. That is what is meant by Isha Vasya Medagam Sarvam. What you call as this means objective world is nothing but that Isha, the Lord, the consciousness, the existence that governs the entire world. Who governs your dream world? The waker. Who governs your external world? The consciousness. See that consciousness as God. Now, is it you are listening to Isavasya Upanishad? Is it intellectual knowledge? Can't you feel the consciousness existence everywhere? Can't you feel that existence in you intuitively? Can't you feel it is the same existence everywhere? And existence has life, otherwise it cannot be there. This existence, which has life, otherwise consciousness, is the same everywhere. It is an intuitive feeling. It is not you are gathering information, knowledge. Feel this, maintain this, reject all others. That's what it says. Isha vasyam idagam sarvam. See everything as this Isha. Yena tektena, renouncing all other perceptions, forms, duality. Bunjita, enjoy your non-dual, unchallenged status of God. Bunjita. Magrudaha kasya siddhanam. Stupid fellow, you the God, the world is in you, your bliss absolute, running after that pani puri filled with sweat. Running after pani puri filled with sweat. Stupid fellow, you didn't know this. Therefore, magrudaha kasya dhanam. Do not covet any wealth, anybody's wealth. Whom does the wealth belong? This morning, me and my brother were talking. God has given us this much. I said, whom he is given? Will you take? Will I take when we go? He uses all of us as pawns. He has some routine program. For that program, he deposits some money with you, he deposits some money with me, and asks us to manage, do his job. And when we go, we cannot take. So nobody has any money because nobody brought it when they came from the mother's womb. And nobody takes when they go to burial ground. Why do you have value for this third-rate, unreal world in the form of several things that you depend? Wealth. Ma grudaha katsasviddanam. To whom does this money belong? Having said that, that's the end of it. I was challenging you several times. If you are ready, you will get the experience. So that is the end of the topic. That is why Gandhiji said, if all literature in the world is lost, if this one verse of Isavasya Upanishad is there, we get everything. This one verse is complete. Now, somebody has more vasanas, he likes to work, he is not ready for this contemplation, he is not ready for this withdrawal. Yes, this is also permitted. Live a grihastha life in a dharmic way. Live a grihastha life in a dharmic way. You will gradually purify yourself because a grihastha living in a dharmic way does everything for the sake of others. As a naivedya to God, receives everything as a prasada. So the existing vasanas come out, new vasanas are not picked up, and then it becomes contemplation fit for the first verse. So the second verse is meant for people who are not ready for the first verse, and if they live the life in the second verse, they become fit for the life of the first verse. The first thing is called Nivritti Marga. Next thing is called Pravritti Marga. If both are not there for you, you are doomed. Your life is doomed. You are in total darkness about everything. Third verse. Then he says, I have told you how to recognize this truth. The existence in you, the consciousness in you intuitively feel. That's not enough because while we do work, mind runs in several directions. We should keep the mind engaged for some time, arrest it, and contemplate. We need more guidelines. There he started from verse 4 to 9. He said, that which does not move, but anejat, it doesn't move. Ekam, one. Manasaha javiyaha, faster than the mind. What is this? It doesn't move. It is one, faster than the mind. What else can it be other than existence consciousness? It doesn't move. It is one only. It is faster than the mind because wherever the mind goes, it is already there. Wherever the mind goes, existence is already there. Consciousness is already there. So these are the pointers through which you meditate and discover that existence consciousness in you. Na yena deva apnuvan purvam arshad. Devas, your senses, your eyes, your ears, your nose, or the sun or the moon, they cannot run faster than the consciousness, and consciousness precedes them, and therefore devas cannot catch him. Tad davataha anya natyeti tishtat. This is a beautiful verse. Sitting in its own place, it overtakes everybody running. Very funny, you know. Sitting in its own place, it overtakes everybody by running. How? Sitting now here in this class, whatever mind has gone. You are sitting here, but your mind has gone to the IPL, which is to start now. Your mind has already gone to the IPL, which is to start now. Sitting, but the mind went to Dubai. No passport, no visa. Right? People who went there physically to see, probably they're still in the gate. But your mind is already there. So, before the senses, before gods, this consciousness alone, which is your mind. Mind is nothing but consciousness with an object. Overtakes all agents of perception, like the eyes, ears, sun, moon, God, etc. Existence and consciousness. Tasmin napo matarishva dadat. Why talk all that? You are living in a world of 5 elements. The world has only 5 elements, nothing more than that. Oh, what? In chemistry, I read 100 and odd. They are all nothing but various combinations of these 5 elements. Prithvi up, tejo, vayu, akashaha. Prithvi up, water. Tejaha, fire. Vayu, air. Akashaha, space. Gurudev gives a beautiful way of explaining. When somebody dies, what somebody dies? All of us are going to die. But we can't see what Gurudev said. Right? What Gurudev said, you watch somebody dying because you can't see your death. What happened? First, air gone. Then, thanda ho gaya. Fire gone. Then what? When air and fire gone, water comes out. Air gone, fire gone, water comes out. Dehydration. Then what? You become a matchbox full of dust, earth. Then what? The space you were occupying all joins the space outside. So this is all the 5 elements that we are. Air, matchbox, fire, thanda ho gaya, dehydration, water, air stopped, and the space that this body was occupying is free now. These are the 5 elements. Right? All these 5 elements are supported by the existence, which is God. So this God, this existence is supported by the 5 elements. Is there a clue here for us to be happy? Yes. We said you are only the five elements. These five elements are always in God. So whether you die, live, become a matchbox, you are always in God. When you are always in God, where is one being separated from the other? I am missing my friend, I am missing my father, I am missing my wife. Nobody misses anything because all the various matchboxes are in God only. See behind the matchboxes, you will be connected through God. This is the only way anybody cannot part from their beloved ones. When you see all of ourselves to be existing in God, never are we separated, irrespective of the body or not. So therefore, next verse, same thing, put it in a different way. Tadejati, tadnaijati, taddure, tadantike, tadantarasya sarvasya, tadu sarvasya bahyataha. Taddure, farthest of the places, existence is there. Tadantike, nothing is closer to you, nearest to you than existence. Tadejati, that moves. Tadnaijati, that does not move. How do you say? Well, it's a contradiction. Air, space does not move. Move a cup in the space. Please follow when I am saying with your intuition. Space is there. Space doesn't move. Bring a cup, move. Cup is nothing but mud. When it moves, how it takes space? But you see, the cup moves space as though moving. Because there is space in the cup. Space does not move. When the cup moves, space seems to move. When the clouds move, moon seems to move. You are sitting in the train. Some people ask you when you go to Delhi from Chennai by train, how did you come? I traveled by train. I read through train. Right? So you were sitting in the train, but the train took you there. You didn't travel, but you said, I traveled 2000 kilometers. You didn't do anything. You were sitting and eating idli. The existence seen through equipments seem to move, seem to have a form. Air you can't see, but you can see them through balloon. Water, without a container, you cannot see. And that water which is everywhere in a container, it seems to be a glass of water, bottle of water. Similarly, existence does not move, but through containers, it seems to be moving. Tadantarasya sarvasya tadu bahyataha. That is inside, outside. Existence, consciousness is the essence in you, is the essence outside. Now, these two verses, what I'm going to say next, are very important. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmani eva pashyati sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam tataha na vijugupsate. He who sees his enemy, his worst enemy, as in himself as the dream character, he who sees himself the existence in that enemy, is he afraid of that enemy of the dream? Because he alone is there. Similarly, when you know you are the essence of yourself and the enemy, whom are you going to be scared of? Repulsive. I can't stand that fellow. When you say, I can't stand that fellow, you are giving your autobiography, you are full of prejudices, likes and dislikes, a man with a clumsy mind. Very strong words I'm using because you have to think about it. Nobody is bad. It is your mind that sees somebody as bad. When you see somebody as bad, it's your mind. The famous story, Dharmaraja went to see a bad man, he could not find. Duryodhana went to see a good man, he could not find. That is why the famous sentence which I repeat many times, when Peter talks about Paul, he talks more about Peter than Paul. When Peter talks about Paul, he talks more about Peter than Paul. When your mind is calm, when your mind is quiet, when you love all, whom do you hate? Who is repulsive to you? Whom are you going to hug? All are beautiful. It's your mind that sees somebody bad, somebody negative. You, whenever you say somebody is wrong, somebody is bad, please, you are only revealing your autobiography. And the next sentence, yasmin sarvabhutani atma eva bhut vijanatah tatra ko mohaha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyatah. He who sees all in him, himself in all, where is delusion thereafter? I am this individual. Ka mohaha. Where there is no delusion, I am this individual, there is no grief. Ka shokaha. So Gurudev gives a beautiful sentence in the very same book, in the very same verse is given. Grief is the language of delusion. Grief is the language of delusion. Right? That is Gurudev. Gurudev now asking me to tell you something, the opposite of it. Happiness is the music of wisdom. Grief is the language of delusion. Happiness is the music of wisdom. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaneva bhut vijanataha tatra ko mohaha. Where you see yourself in all, where is delusion? You are an individual. Ka shokaha. Where is grief? Ekatvam anupashyatah. Seeing yourself to be the essence of all names and forms. Right? Having said that, the last verse on meditation. What is meditation? All of us are, please remember this. What is meditation? Whatever you see in the world is a combination of real plus an appearing form. You and I are a combination of existence, consciousness, plus a form. The forms are also nothing but consciousness because that's mind. We said mind is the matrix. Mind is nothing but consciousness. Therefore, consciousness by itself is the real you. Consciousness grossified is the name and form. Same consciousness is you. The same consciousness existence grossified to thoughts is the physical structure, is the external world. So it's mixed up. Consciousness plus forms are mixed up. These forms make you feel limited and sad. So discover the consciousness in and through the forms, and thus reject the forms, assert the truth, the existence consciousness. This is called meditation. Negation and assertion. Vairagya, abhyasa. Rejecting and asserting. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. Who are you? The one who enlivens them. The one who is aware of all their functions. The one because of which they exist. The one who can exist without them. I am that. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham. Right? Remember only this. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I told in some class, repeat this every day. I am 1000% sure nobody is doing, but I am doing. After I said in the class, this is about 3 months back. In some class, I said, repeat this for you. I am 1000% sure nobody is repeating, but I am doing. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Shivo. I am of the nature of change, consciousness, Ananda, bliss, Shivoham, auspiciousness, without any death or sorrow. Shivoham, Shivoham. That is me. So separate the real you from the apparent you. That is called meditation. Separate the real you from the apparent you. How do you do that? Simply see by which you are conscious. I am talking, dead body cannot talk. What makes me talk? The life. You are hearing, dead body cannot hear. What makes you hear? The life. I am seeing my picture in this tablet. What makes me see that? The consciousness. So it is the consciousness that is making all functions possible. Feel its presence in you and reject all other forms. This is meditation. Meditation is not sitting, closing the eyes tight, blocking the nose, and struggling to concentrate. That is only a preparation for the beginners. Like when you want to learn cycling, you go to a playground. But you don't go to playground and there only cycle all the time. Cycling has to be done on the road. Go to the playground only to learn. Similarly, sitting and doing meditation is to learn this, turning the attention of the mind, focusing to consciousness, and develop concentration. For this, sitting and doing meditation. Also, don't confuse. Concentration and meditation are not the same. Meditation does not need concentration. Concentration can help you in meditation. Meditation does not need concentration because one who sees God alone everywhere, what to concentrate? What to concentrate? So this is meditation. He is giving some this thing. Saparyaga, that is all pervading. Shukram, pure, nothing other than that. Akayam, no body. Means no gross body, no subtle body, no causal body. Avranam, asna, viragam, no sinews, no muscles. That means here specifically no physical body. Shuddham, pure, no vasanas. Apapa vidham, unpierced by sins, means there is no duality. Duality only brings sins. This being alone, there is no sins affecting it. Kavihi, wise, Manishi, knowing everything. Is there something that the consciousness does not know? Anything known is known by the consciousness. Paribhuhu, Paribhuhu, transcendental. The water is immanent in the wave, transcends the wave. Water is the immanent in the wave, transcends the wave. The waker is immanent in the dream, transcends the dreamer. Gold is immanent in the ornament, transcends the ornament. Paribhuhu, he transcends all forms. Swayambhuhu, all others are appearances in him. He has not come from any other cause. He is the causeless cause. All other things have a cause. Maya, ignorance. Avidya expresses itself as avidya is ignorance. As avarana, it first envelops the consciousness, covers it. And when it covers it, projections come. How do you dream? You first become unaware of your waker state in sleep. Cover yourself. Then from that, the subconscious mind projects the various dream worlds. So avidya, ignorance, has two functions: to cover it's called avarana. To project names and forms, it's called vikshepa. You don't see a rope covered. Rope is covered, but to your perception. So avidya of the rope, there, when you don't see, it is avarana. When you didn't see the avarana, the rope appears to be snake, projection. Gurudev gives two beautiful words. Non-apprehension of reality causes misapprehension of reality. Non-apprehension of reality causes misapprehension of reality. Don't see a rope, see the snake. Don't see the post, see the ghost. Right? So Swayambhu, he is nothing other than him. Yad tad yatharthan vedadat shastrati samabhyah. He alone has allotted the various phenomenal forces their job to do. This consciousness, this existence, this cosmic intelligence. Out of fear for him, wind blows. Out of fear for him, the earth rotates in a particular speed. Out of fear for him, sun gives you energy. Out of fear for him, air blows, fire burns. He alone has allotted the respective duties. In you, the body functions because of the consciousness. The mind thinks because of the consciousness. The mind feels. The intellect thinks because of the consciousness. Who is the controller and the master of all your functions? It is that God who is existence, who is consciousness. And out of fear, everything functions. What are you? You are afraid of everything. I don't know about you. When I go to bed, I'm afraid of the ants because they can go into my ear. And as a child, I know the problem. As a child in the village, when the ears go, ants go to the ears. The pain is more than aunties. Understand? So you are afraid of ants. You are afraid of mosquitoes. You are afraid of scorpions. You are afraid of snakes. You are afraid of everybody, your servant, your driver, your wife, your children. What are you not afraid of? What are you not afraid of? But your God, to whom everything else, even sun, moon, Vayu, is afraid. So how? Then I get that status. Simply believe that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are the consciousness. Through this knowledge, you become Lord. Everything is afraid of you. You are afraid. Why? Because if you are afraid, you will die. When you know that you are not the body, you are not afraid of the death. Therefore, can anything cause you fear? Only this obsession with the body, you are afraid. With the obsession of this body, you are afraid. Gurudev saw somebody in Badrinath renunciate, whole body full of wounds, full of maggots. Out of that, one maggot fell on earth. This sannyasi took that maggot and put back on his body. That was the detachment. That was the detachment. So you and I are afraid of everything because you and I believe we are this body and we will die. When you know you are not the body, everything is afraid of you. You are not afraid of it. Right? Now, he has given us what? First sloka, Jnana Marga. Second sloka, Grihastha Karma Marga. Third says if you don't take these two, you go to dark ages. From 4 to 8, meditations. So 4 waves. Gurudev makes this text into 7 waves. We have done the first wave, Nivritti, second wave, Pravritti, third wave, the stupidity, and 4 to 8 is meditation. Now, the 5th wave is people who believe in doing something. That is, They are neither the Jnanis nor the honest Grihasthas. They believe they should do some rituals and get some powers, bribe God and get some favors, rituals. This is a joke, but it is true. We tell Venkatachalapati, you get me that contract, 100 crores, I will give you 1 crore. What a bad businessman is Venkatachalapati. Why should he give you 100 crores and take 1 crore from you? He can take the 100 crores. But this is what we do, rituals. But it is permitted. Gita itself says, whoever does with whatever motive, still they are great because they believe in me. First thing, they believe in God. That itself is a greatness. Their ego is less to that extent. So even if you pray with desires, you cannot be rejected. Because Bhagavan himself says in Gita, they are also udaraha, all are noble. But intelligent man doesn't waste his time on that. And some people want quick powers, meditation, devata meditation. I am meditating on this God. I am meditating on that God. For what? Powers. Powers to control nature, powers to control his enemies, friends, and all that. Vashikaranam. Get money, siddhis. So there are two types of people. Do rituals and get some benefit. The others are people who meditate on their Ishta Devata for some benefits. If you meditate on Kubera, you are meditating for wealth. If you are meditating on Lakshmi, you are meditating for Aishwarya. If you are meditating on Saraswati, you are meditating for Vidya. Like that, each god you meditate for a particular purpose. Karmas you do, Putra Kamastyaga, you will get a son. Right? And Ashramedha Yaga, you will become the unchallenged monarch. Like this, the various karmas are there. Upasanas are there. Upasanas are meditations. Upa, near, asana, sitting. Sitting near your idol, your concept, your desire, your God is upasana. Meditation on individual gods for particular favors. Rituals for gaining some results. Okay? Money, children, like that. So these are two things people do. They don't club. They do karma. They think they will get something. That's all they want. People who meditate, they think they will get favors from the Ishta Devata and they can meet the Ishta Devata in their loka. Each one has got a loka. According to them. I will explain what it is later. According to them, first floor lives one god, second floor lives another god, third floor lives another god. Right? So they will meet their gods when they do meditation on that god. This is called Upasana. It's not a joke, nor is completely true. When they do this, they get it. How? Everything is in mind, sir. You meditate, go on meditating on Kubera for money. Your mind gets those powers because you are God. To make the money, it visualizes. So Kubera blesses you, really. Whatever you think, that you become. Whatever you think, that you become. You are blessed by Kubera. You are blessed by those gods. No doubt in that. Right? What should you do? That we will see. First, karma is called avidya. Why karma is called avidya? Rituals. Rituals are called avidya. Ekadasha Rudra Homam. Is it avidya? That's what Shastra says. Right? Sudarshana Homam, avidya. That's what Shastra says. Any ritual is an avidya. How? It is a karma, you know. Ritual is a karma. Why do you do karma? To gain some results. Why do you want some results? Because you don't have it. Why do you don't have it? Because you consider you are the body. Therefore, what is it? Ignorance that you are God. Ignorance that you are God make you feel wanting something, therefore desire, therefore action. Avidya, ignorance at the spiritual level becomes desire at the intellectual level, becomes action at the physical level. These three are not three different things, various facets of avidya. Avidya, kama, karma. Avidya, kama, karma. Right? So all karmas, whatever may be the karma, it is avidya only, ignorance only. So you are ridiculing that. You are ridiculing the tradition. I am not. Because Shastra also does not. Shastra says it's glorious. I also say it is glorious. Then why are you trying to speak as though with two tongues? No. That will bless you. You will get that. But you are the God that gives the power to that avidya itself to bless you. You are that very God who gives the power to the various devatas, to that karma to bless you. Discover that. You have given all your property to the servants. Now asking your servants to feed you. Servants may feed. So devatas will feed you. Your karmas will bless you. No doubt in that. Shastra says. So I also say. But Upanishads say, go beyond it. They are all finite. Go beyond it. They are all finite. So through actions, when you do, what will happen? You get some results. What will happen? The family will go through. Traditions will go through. You are preserving the family continuation. Therefore, that's called Pitruloka. Pitruloka, the field, the lokas of the ancestors. Because the tradition moves, family moves. When you do upasana to gods, you get that blessing of each god. That's called Devaloka. When you meditate on each god, you get the blessing of that god. That's called Devaloka. Right? So that's also finite. This is also finite. So Upanishad says both are finite. At least you do one thing. You are not fit for the first verse, you know. Complete this thing. Now you do one thing. Clap these two together. Ritual and upasana. Then what happens is your mind and intellect gets integrated. You become sharper. You become fit for contemplation. You will gradually elevate yourself from one dimension to the other, and then interacting with the total mind intellect, which is called Brahma. Living there for some time. Then you discover that even Brahma is my creation, and you become God. This is called Krama Mukti, gradual liberation. That is, through avidya, purify yourself. Through upasana, integrate, meditate, contemplate. These two, when they join, purifying and focusing, that takes you step by step to higher realms. That is called Krama Mukti. So here, he has said, this is what rituals will give. This is what upasana will give. But they both lead you to darkness. One to darkness, other to greater darkness. You want some real benefit, come on, do one after the other. Do rituals, then do meditation, do rituals, do meditation, and then gradually you will Krama Mukti. That is useful. You believe in rituals. You believe in Devata Upasana. I am not against. But at least don't do separately and leave. Do them serially. Purify through karma. Meditate. Then you will gradually Shamam. This is the essence of the next 6 verses. 3 verses, what I said, the same thing, changing karma and upasana to manifest God, unmanifest God, are the next 3 verses. Same thing, right? So next class, we will finish Isa Vasya because I have explained everything. I just have to formally take those 6 verses and the 4 more verses of a dying man's prayer to his Ishtadevata. Dying man's prayer for Ishtadevata. That is the last 4 verses. With that, Isa concludes. I am hoping I may conclude next week with that. But if I don't do, I will take one more class because I won't do injustice. Because I said I will finish, I won't rush. Right? I will try to do as best as I can do. If it doesn't finish, we'll take one more class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. I want some feedback because last week somebody said